Welcome back. The Senate advancing a stopgap funding bill in a procedural vote last night, setting up for a vote of final passage later this week for the CR. This bipartisan continuing resolution would keep the government funded through December 11th and temporarily block a federal rule requiring grant approval by senior political appointees. Senate Majority Leader John Thune says passing this measure is his top priority ahead of the August recess because it will avert a government shutdown at the end of September. Joining me now is the House Majority Whip, Minnesota Congressman Tom Emmer. Congressman, great to see you. Thank you so much for being here. This is obviously a priority, as your Democrat colleagues have already threatened that once funding runs out at the end of September, they will shut the government down again. Is that your expectation?
Yeah, they've made that very clear. Whether it's Chuck Schumer or Hakeem Jeffries, their goal is to create chaos going into the midterms. House Republicans, Maria, before we left Washington, we passed a similar continuing resolution that would keep the government funded until December 4th. Now, as you've just mentioned, the Senate passed one yesterday, at least the initial stage, which would be through December 11th. Make no mistake about it. If the government shuts down, it is because Democrats want the government to shut down, and Republicans and Donald Trump are going to make sure that doesn't happen. So
do you feel you've got all Republicans behind this CR? I mean, this seems pretty straightforward to me.
The House one did. It was complete. It was a clean CR, as they call it, which means no changes. Nobody got to add something. Nobody got to withdraw something. The Senate has added some anomalies, one of which you've mentioned, I understand, but haven't had a chance to study it, would take away the authority of certain agencies to make decisions. We'll have to see how that plays in the House. Again, the House has passed one completely clean through December 4th. The Senate is working on one through December 11th. We'll have to see what the final product is when it gets to the House.
So when will you get that final text back to the House? And what's the timing in terms of actually getting this over the finish line? Will you be having to stay here next weekend, even though your break is supposed to begin at the end of the week?
Actually, you're talking about senators.
Right, the Senate break,
the House members left over a week ago.
That's
senators are working through next week. The goal is, I understand, the leader's going to try and have that passed off the Senate floor before they leave. We would then get it. It'd be transmitted to the House, and I would imagine we come back on August 31st. I would imagine it'll be one of the first things that the House takes up.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for, what the plan is, because I know the House has been on this break for a week now. Republicans passed a flurry of legislation before you all left, including the Framework for Reconciliation 3.0, the Stop Insider Trading Act, and the NDAA. Congressman, when you left, you had this urgency to get all of that done, and now they're all hanging in the balance in the Senate. Clarity Act, Reconciliation 3.0, Save America Act. Do you have any confidence that any of that gets done in the Senate?
Confidence is generated through performance, so we'll have to see what they do in the Senate. Many good things have gone there in the past couple of years and not moved. I will tell you, the House did amazing work, as you point out, before we left, passing an NDAA, passing the budget resolution, passing the Stock Act, Maria,
right,
which restricts members of the House, the Congress being able to trade stocks with trying to curb insider trading. These are huge things that were accomplished in the House. Securing our elections is a #1 priority of our president and Republicans. We sent that with the budget resolution over to the Senate. I would hope that they would recognize this is imperative for this country, for the open, fair, and transparent election process to continue. Americans need to have confidence. And by the way, Maria, it's an 80% issue.
Yeah.
Republicans, Democrats, and others all don't see a problem with someone having to prove their identity in order to cast a ballot in one of our elections.
Yeah, it certainly is not an 80% issue in the Senate. That we know. John Thune continues to say he doesn't have the votes, which really is a head scratcher, given everything you've just said. So where are we on the midterms, knowing that we may very well not have that legislation in place? We're less than, 94 days away from the midterms. Americans' frustration with the Republican Party is growing. A new CNN poll shows Democrats now lead Republicans by 8 points on a generic ballot. Other polls show Republicans losing their House majority, Congressman, even as we talk about these incredibly far-left candidates in the Democrat Party. So what's your take in terms of going into the midterms and what Republicans need to do to ensure that you're communicating your wins?
Yeah, well, I think it's perception, Maria. the perception of the reality in our economy, the two need to meet. Right now, there are great things happening in our economy. Nobody wants to talk about 78 cents eggs. Nobody wants to talk about milk that's under $2. No. They want to focus on gas prices, which Americans are smarter than the elites in Washington give them credit for. They understand this is related to something that has to get done in Iran. And when you look at the field, I mean, in order for the House to flip, Maria, the Democrats in the House are going to have to win 57 of 77 seats that go 5 points, plus or minus 5. That is an incredibly steep order. We've got the right candidates. I believe we've still got the right message. I believe Americans are going to speak again the way they did in the 2024 election. Polls, people just aren't being honest with polls. They show up at the voting booth. That poll is the only one that matters. And I think Republicans are going to do well in November.
Yeah, really interesting. Congressman, we're going to be watching. Thanks so much for being here this morning.
Thank you, Maria.
All right, Tom Emmer joining us. Stay with us. We'll be right back.